This video is sponsored by Silent Energy. I'm back, lads. In fact, I've had so much motivation to write and record this script that I'm doing it on Christmas Day. I probably missed an ideal opportunity to upload during the F1 finale drama, but I'll be honest, I wanted to stay as far away from it as possible. I'm honestly not happy at all, and I personally believe that it's ruined the sport to a certain extent. Furthermore, it really highlighted the issues with the FIA that have been there all along but not quite as prevalent. Anyway, I'm waffling. Point is, I'm not happy with F1, but that's not the point of today's video. Today I'd like to discuss why I believe that Indycar is the best motorsport out there, and no, this isn't solely based on the recent events that transpired within F1. In fact, I've been bordering on this opinion for almost a year now. That Indycar video was actually my first vid to bang, and its general response is still the best response I've received to this day. This video is almost going to be a bit of a rehash of that old video because I would like to begin making some more Indycar orientated content. Anyway, without further ado, today we're going to have a look at why I believe that Indycar is the best motorsport out there. Indycar is an American open-wheel racing series which race on ovals, racetracks and street circuits. As I mentioned in my last video, there is a common misconception that the series only race on ovals, but that simply isn't the case. In fact, out of 17 races in the 2021 season, only 4 of them were ovals, those being 2 at Texas Motor Speedway, 1 at Gateway, and of course the Indy 500. I personally believe that this is a shame because I actually really enjoy oval racing. The aero package looks mean AF and the speeds are phenomenal. Not to mention that each car is typically well within a second of one another. The margin for error is insanely small, with the tiniest mistake resulting in a serious wreck, with very few exceptions and close calls. Also, the races are constantly unpredictable, with caution periods having the ability to completely shake up a race. That brings me on nicely to the pit stops. Despite not being as impressive as F1 regarding speeds, IndyCar pit stops are far more chaotic. With refueling, small crews and multiple lanes in the pits, we often see cars racing on the pit exit. There's actually a camera on the pit exit to show stewards who was in front, because there have been numerous occasions where it's been incredibly close. So, in my opinion, there are rarely boring moments during an IndyCar race. Just a shame that I'm a teenager living in the middle of nowhere in the UK, because watching an IndyCar race in real life is damn near impossible. There is almost always too much going on as well. You don't know whether to watch the battling at the front or the car careering into the wall at the back of the field. Honestly, for a first-time viewer of motorsport, I firmly believe that IndyCar is easier to get into. I watched the Indy 500 last year with some mates who have never showed much interest in racing at all, and they loved it. In fact, we actually bet on who would finish highest, and I didn't come close to winning. It was that unpredictable. But then again, it's not overly common for Scott Dixon to have a shambolic race. I reckon I just got pretty unlucky. My favourite thing about IndyCar is the fact that it's a spec series. Every team runs a more or less identical car. Obviously they can tweak the setup and you do get teams who are superior at this, but it's still much closer than Formula 1. Dallara recently extended their contract with the series, which is excellent news because they've done such a fantastic job with the construction of the chassis in recent years. It really separates the good from the great because you can compare drivers far more fairly than you can in other series. There are 2 main engine manufacturers being Honda and Chevrolet. The engines are pretty similar, again contrasting with the difference we often see in Formula 1. Plus they sound absolutely fantastic. I mean, listen to this. Also, the crashes are spectacular. I know it's not the sort of thing you want to be hyped about, but it does make it rather intense. Anyway, now I want to talk about the sponsor Silent Energy. Silent is an energy drink company developed by drivers for drivers, so essentially it's a motorsport themed drink, which I am all for. There is a new flavour out now in the form of Acropolis Apple, which looks mightily delicious. The drinks are incredibly easy to purchase and packaged with care. In fact, the customer service is simply unrivaled. You can also get a limited driver card with every order from one of the young talents that the company sponsors, so you're essentially supporting young racing drivers while simultaneously receiving a delicious drink. There is also a ton of other cool community projects that the brand partakes in, which you can check out on their website. The people who run the company are genuinely just the nicest dudes. They're so down to earth and helpful, which really elevates the quality of this brand compared to others. So if you're interested, head down to the description to check out their website and socials. Back to IndyCar. I can't not mention IndyCar's circuit racing. Similar to F1, there are multiple tyre compounds drivers can use, deemed as primary black and alternate red. similar to hard and soft in F1 respectively. Also, there's a different aero package that the cars must use, which generates more downforce. The series doesn't have features such as DRS, but does have push to pass, which provides the driver with more power upon pressing the button. Think of this like KERS in F1, but not really, just makes it a bit easier to explain. Drivers have a limited amount of push to pass to use during the course of a race, so they can't deploy all without being rendered useless towards the end, so they have to be strategic with it. I feel like IndyCar is also more physical over the course of a race. There's no power steering, and the tracks are far bumpier than F1 tracks. I'm pretty sure F1 can't even legally race at most IndyCar tracks due to the outdated infrastructure and lack of safety. Forgive me if this seems a little bit sadistic, but this contributes to the charm of an IndyCar race. It looks like a motor race, you know? There isn't as much sponsorship and the road is very minimalistic. Some tracks just look like a country road in Britain. If you watched last season, you'd be more than aware of Nashville. Yes, the race wasn't the most exciting because we spent 90% of it under caution, but driving the track was fantastic to watch because it was so bare bones. Anyway, on the topic of last season, it would seem ridiculous not to mention the championship. We were very lucky to get what I call the 2012 effect, with 7 different winners in the first 7 races, and 9 different winners throughout the season. The championship battle was unpredictable throughout. It was typically between 4 drivers, being Scott Dixon, Joseph Newgarden, Pato O'Ward, and the eventual winner, Alex Palou. Alex Palou won the IndyCar Championship in his 2nd season, which was fantastic to watch. However, he didn't have the most out-and-out pace, scoring just 1 pole position all season. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the recent F1 season wasn't good, because it was spectacular, although the lack of 2-man domination and politics really elevated IndyCar in my mind. In conclusion, I personally prefer watching IndyCar to Formula 1. I believe that there are many things that the series does better. It feels as if everything is more spectacular: the racing, the crashes, and the championship. Yes, it will never receive as much attention or funding as Formula 1, but I'm happy with it that way. Cash isn't king. The community is a much nicer place, with fans generally being more respectful, lacking the toxicity prevalent between every single F1 fan ever. Anyway, that's about it from me. Hit that subscribe button if you're excited for some more IndyCar content in 2022. Also guys, let me know if there's any specific IndyCar related content you guys would like to see. I'm planning on doing some driver videos, Indy Lights videos, historical videos, that sort of stuff, news. But if there's anything specific you want to see, leave a comment down below and I will see what I can do. I'm so incredibly grateful for all of the support that I've received this year, going from 0 to 17,000 subs in such a short amount of time. I know I haven't been overly consistent and I do really apologise for that. However, I'm hopeful that I can provide you all with more in 2022. Thank you for tuning into DylanJamesGP and Merry Christmas. I will see you all in the next video.